Oops. I'm just checking to see if you're paying attention. Hello, and welcome to Friday night. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get the party started. So let's stop with the fun music and let's start with the live stream. Admittedly, I'm used to using OBS Studio as my streaming software, and I went back to Streamlabs. And in OBS Studio, I had a way to queue up my next scene and then hit transition when I wanted to. And so I thought I was queuing up this, and it wasn't. It just made it go live. All right, welcome to Friday night. I hope the mic sounds a little bit better. I did adjust the settings on it, and so hopefully you're getting a better quality audio tonight. And I'm not straining my voice because I got the lapel mic on. So thank you to Ian for a couple of tidbits and tips that helped remind me that perhaps I didn't need to have the gain turned all the way up on my switch, which is making the mic super, super hot. So what are we going to work on in tonight's live? Tonight we're going to make some fabric popcorn bags. These are just an absolute treat. This one was my demo, is my prototype to make sure I could do it. Super simple, like 5 minutes so we're gonna have to draw this out. And as you can see, I have got a ton of fabric right here waiting to go because I'm gonna make several of them. This size seems to hold about 1/4 of a cup of popcorn kernels and pops it in about 2 minutes, minute and a half, something like that, with no problem. If you leave this in the microwave, the fabric could get a little singed, a little too much. I will tell you, I've used this twice, and I got a couple brown spots. I'll show you in the overhead camera in just a couple minutes. I do have a couple brown spots on it already, so I'll tell you, don't make the bag bigger than the measurements that we're going to talk about tonight, because then it would hold more popcorn, which would require more time to pop, which could be a problem with your bag. If this is something that you want to make, these are the supplies that you're going to need. Of course, all of your sewing notions. So your rotary cutter, your measuring mat, your blah, 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 blah. But you also want about a 1/2 yard of fabric per bag. And you want to make sure that that fabric is 100% cotton, and you want some 100% cotton thread. And here's why. Because this is going to go in your microwave. There's no batting, there's no interfacing, there's no nothing else. It's just a 1/2 yard of fabric. Now, if you want to, we're going to make this 2 ways. I'm going to make at least 2 tonight. I'm going to show you how to do it with a 1/2 yard cut of fabric, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with 2 contrasting fat quarters for a little extra fun. When you make this bag, you have to use 100% cotton on the fabric and the thread, because if you introduce polyester into this, the microwave's going to melt the polyester, and nobody wants polyester all over their popcorn. That doesn't taste good, probably not healthy. So let's just stay away from that right now. I will show you why I'm making this. So let me give you the overhead view really quick. So last week, these are all the fabrics I'm going to be working with, and we'll get to that in a minute. I don't want to spoil it for you. But last week, I joined Weight Watchers as part of my better health journey, and I bought one of these lovely silicone, and it's, don't judge, it's dirty. There's salt in there. I do like air pop with just a little bit of salt. I don't put oil or anything on it most of the time, but I have a tip I'm going to share with you. But anyway, this bowl collapses down quite nicely for travel, and so you can take it with you if you're going somewhere, and then when you're ready to pop some popcorn, you can put a 1/4 cup or even a full 1/2 cup of kernels right down inside. There's a couple of lines right down in the bottom, and then you just set this lid inside of there. This confused me at first. I'm telling you, this confused me at first, because I was like, that lid is not sitting on top. It's supposed to sit down in there. But as you're popping, as the popcorn's popping, it raises up on its own. And that kind of is an indicator, along with the sound of the popcorn popping. This is, oh, no. Teresa said, sorry, tried the microphone, so not typing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was meant for me. There's something wrong with my microphone. It just literally caught my attention. Squirrel! Like, just right there. Anyway, as this is popping, it comes up like that, right? And this is a visual indicator that the popcorn is done up here. And the reason why I got this is because on Weight Watchers, I'm sorry, WW, they changed their name, but on WW, they have a new program where you tell them a little bit about the foods that you enjoy, and they give you an option to pick 2 or 3 foods that are 0 points. And the rule is that the food is 0 point. You can have as much as you like, but you're supposed to stop when you're full. Sometimes when I'm stress eating, I don't stop when I'm full. But this is a great snack for me because I feel like with air pop popcorn, that is my 0 point food, I can have so much of it. So I can take a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of kernels. I can pop it in the microwave, put some salt on it. And I do have a trick. I use this Colonel Seasons movie theater. Oh, great. Thank you, Ian. This Colonel Seasons movie theater butter. This is a spray, and I just do like a 1/2 second of spray, and there's 0 calories on it for a 1/3 of a second spray. So 1/2 second, just shoot right on top. And that just gives a little bit of moisture back to the popcorn kernel so that my salt can adhere to it. It doesn't really add any butter flavor. I'm not looking for this to add butter to my popcorn. I'm just looking to give the salt something to hold on to so that I've got the salty popcorn, because I love salt in my popcorn, but sometimes I just want air pop with no salt, so I'm okay with that. So anyway, I've been using this at home every night, as you can see from how dirty this is inside. Kind of embarrassing. I've been using this every night, and it's been great to sit in front of the TV with the hubby and watch a little bit of TV and have my nighttime snack, and then I go off to bed. But I want one for work, and I don't want to spend $20 or $30 for one of these. And I know that there was a demo or a tutorial that Susan O'Neill Smith, who may be on the live with us tonight, had shared in the Facebook group of somebody that made one out of fabric. So sure enough, I decided I was going to go look and see if I could find that tutorial, and I did. And the demo, it wasn't the exact video, but it was a tutorial. The tutorial for this one is not what I'm going to show. I'm modifying this a little bit. This was a good tutorial. It does hold a 1/4 cup of popcorn kernels. The size that we're going to make is just going to be changed just a little bit. So it'll still hold a 1/4 cup of uncooked popcorn kernels, which I think is perfect size for a snack. And if you want a double portion, just make 2 bags and pour them in a bowl. But the thing that I like about this is it's self-standing. It keeps all the kernels inside, and it works. So I found that video, made one today, made a batch of popcorn, ate it. Because I had to make sure it worked. And then I figured I would sit here with you tonight and we will make a slightly different version of that same bag in a couple of different ways. So that's what we're going to work on tonight. Before we jump into the project though, got to find a place to put all the accoutrements that I have brought. I do want to give a special thank you to Marcia Regeling. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right, and I'm not going to read the card that came with this, but I got some happy mail from Amazon. So every once in a while I'll go to my UPS box and there'll be a package waiting for me. And it'll be from Amazon. And I know it's not for me because my Amazon packages come to my house. But there was an Amazon package waiting for me. And the note, actually, I will read it because it's kind of funny, but I want to show you what she sent to me. Before I show you, I'm going to read this note. She said, "Becca, every time I see you open a box with those scissors, I expect to see you skewer yourself in the chest or see a fingertip fly at the camera. Handle with care and save your flesh." And so she was super kind. And sent me a box cutter. And so this is my way of saying thank you, Marcia. I really appreciate this. And I'm going to put it in my little cart of tricks over here. And hopefully this won't walk off and maybe I'll be able to use it in my next unboxing video. I'm going to take a minute to read a few messages in the chat because I love catching up with you guys before we jump into the project. Elizabeth says, "You can use a paper bag, lunch bag for a 1/4 cup of popcorn. Same thing as this bag." Yes, you can. The nice thing about this is it's reusable. It's cotton. You can just toss it in the wash, but you are more than welcome to just use brown paper bag too. If you don't want to use this, that's fine. Just as long as you want to make something tonight, do something that sets your mind at ease, relaxes you, and gets you ready for the weekend. Did you find my envelope? Ian, if I'm being completely honest, I didn't even look for your envelope, but I think it's over there. Is that it? Maybe that's it. You know what? We'll get up and look in a minute. I keep forgetting about it. It's horrible. It's so horrible. Ian sent me a nice envelope, and it said on the envelope, "Open on air," and it's now been 3 weeks. Bobby Guy says, "Hi, Becca. I just want you to know that I just joined Weight Watchers this week. You inspired me." Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Let's see, what else do we have? Susan O'Neill Smith says, yeah, we love those, but I'm excited to see yours. I am really excited to showcase mine. So let's just jump into that, right? So the one that I made is made out of whale fabric because I love whales and dolphins and fish and marine life. Now, this is a directional fabric, and so my whales are swimming up and down instead of side to side. So maybe you want to pay attention to that, and I'll show you how when we get to the point where we're starting to put this together, or at least hopefully I'll remember what the trick is. But I do have some popcorn in here, and so you have this little flap on the front, and all you do is flip the flap open like so. This is seriously a 5-minute project. A beginner can do this, and it is super forgiving. So if you don't think you're good enough to do it, I tell you to think again. And then inside you have all of this lovely air pop. And then what I like to do is I grab my little movie theater butter flavored spritzer from Colonel Seasons, and I just do like a half of a second, like that's it. Boop, boop, real quick. And then a little bit of salt. And then because it's a bag, I can shake it up a little bit, and then I reach down inside. Perfect. And because I boxed the corners down at the bottom, which I'm going to show you how to do too, this is self-standing. And so I can set this over here as we're sewing tonight, and it can be my little snack. Just forgive me if I'm crunching into the microphone. Ian wants to know, can I speak whale? No, I can't. Oh my goodness, Katrina lost 378 pounds on Weight Watchers. You guys, that's amazing. Debbie Dunn says, I've been enjoying the AQS show, but ready to go home to my own machine in space. Aw. By the way, can I just talk a little bit for a minute about a major milestone that has happened in my weight loss journey? Do y'all see this beautiful bling that is on my finger? Look at that. See if I can get it to focus. Well, maybe not. Diamonds are hard to get to focus, right? Like, oh, there it is. My wedding set is on my hand. It has been months, like legit months since I took this set off, and I was like, nope, it's too tight. And it's even doing the spinny thingy where it's like, do. I don't dare take it off because it is still a little snug, if I'm being completely honest, and in about 10 pounds, it won't be snug at all. So I have decided I'm going to leave it on. Susan O'Neill Smith said that these make the best gifts. She sent a dozen of them to LA for her daughter's friends. Sherlock So says, yeah. Debbie says, congratulations. Ian said, so happy for you. Thank you. Lots of people saying yeah. So thank you. Oh my goodness. Katrina started Weight Watchers at 567 pounds after she broke her back. Wow. I feel like I keep seeing the mic going just a little bit into the red, so it's making me nervous. I'm like, ooh. Hey, Tracy, welcome to the party. Look, Tracy, dip your hand into the popcorn. Let's have some popcorn together. Wow, you eventually got down to 126 pounds. Katrina, that's awesome. Tomorrow morning, I have my weigh-in. And I already know I lost this week because I've been stepping on the scale every day. Even when there was a day where I had a heavy meal because I dipped in my weekly points, I saw it go up. Now, I know the first couple weeks are all water weight, and that's fine with me. I don't care. I don't care. A loss is a loss, whether it's water weight, fat, calories, whatever. And I also know, and I'll talk about this tomorrow in tomorrow's vlog, because I do intend to do a vlog after every Weight Watchers meeting that I go to. I do know that I'm starting 2022 one way. I've shifted now, and who knows, before the end of the calendar year, I may change from Weight Watchers to Noom or to Keto or to some other program along the way. The goal really is for me just to keep going, not necessarily stay on the same plan. So if Weight Watchers does it for me for a month, great. If it does it for me for 6 months, great. But I just swallowed a kernel. When it gets to the point where it's not doing anything for me, I just want to be cognizant of that and be able to shift gears. So that's my plan. All right, cotton bobbin ready, Tracy. Awesome. Does it matter if the fabric is pre-washed? Okay, so I did pre-wash all of my fabric. I will tell you, I don't think it matters if it's pre-washed as long as you wash it before you use it. Now, keep in mind, if you didn't wash it before you use it, your bag might shrink down a little bit, but I think the amount of shrinkage that you'll get from the fabric measurements that I'm going to give you, totally cool. You're going to be fine. So I wouldn't worry about it. All right. I'm going to take my wireless mic with me and go just walk over here behind the camera because I do see an envelope. And gosh, wouldn't it be great if this was Ian's thing? Nope, of course it's not. Why would it be? Because I'm looking for it. And I totally don't know where I set it. What I think may have had happened was, just want to check really quick. You know, my sister came here and I had this little wall quilt that I made for her, and I set it aside because I was like, nope, she needs to take this home when she leaves. And wouldn't you know it, she came and did not take it home. It is sitting here. We forgot. We forgot. All right, Ian, I'm not going to spend my life looking for it, but I will look for it this weekend, and we'll hopefully find it. I know it's around here. I just keep forgetting to look for it. Life's been crazy. I literally have no idea where it went. I'm sorry. But I know you're thinking, it's okay. Just look for it soon. So there we go. Your spirit sounds so upbeat. Yes, thank you. I hope so. This is ice water, guys. This is not soda or anything like that. It's ice water. All right, so let's get started. Let me show you what we're going to do. I have got these 2 batik half-yard cuts in front of me, and they're pre-washed and just lightly folded. Ian said it's all good. You will find it in 6 months and you can open it then. Awesome. All right, so I've got these 2 half-yard batik cuts that I'm going to work with tonight, but I also have a pile of fat quarters that I pre-washed too. So I'm just going to kind of loosely fold these so that they're kind of stacked nicely over here. I'm not going to worry about creasing them or anything like that. I just want them organized a little bit and out of my way. I literally grabbed them out of the dryer and then walked into the room. I was like, okay, time to go. I grabbed enough to make, I think, 6 bags tonight. So we'll see if we can get through all of them. And I did try to coordinate my fat quarters so that I had 2 that I felt like went well together. And we'll make a decision about which ones, I know which ones they are, but I'll show them to you in coordinated pairs when I start working with the fat quarters. But first we're going to work with the half-yard cuts. And the half-yard cuts, the nice thing about the half-yard cut is the inside looks exactly the same as the outside. And so all you got to do is grab yourself a half-yard cut of fabric and do what I'm going to show you. Just take a couple of cuts, a few seams, and bing, bang, boom. Pour some kernels in there, and you have some popcorn. Don't forget, tonight we will be in the Facebook group, so feel free to post pictures of whatever it is you're working on, and we'll share them later in the evening. All right, so I'm going to pull the first one. Sewing with Luane says, living on the 6th floor is great as I walk up and down the stairs, and it helps keep the cheeseburger weight down. I've been using the stairs at work every day. Martha says, open the envelope. You got us all curious. Well, I know the envelope is likely a fabric postcard that he made at QuiltCon. I just don't know where it is, so I can't open it. I'm so sorry. All right, I'm not even gonna, hi Teresa. What's the best way to wash your fabric without fraying? I have heard some people put a stay stitch along the cut edges because the selvages are never going to fray, but these cut edges will. Batiks don't fray as much as quilted cotton, but they do fray a little bit. But yeah, I've heard people do a stay stitch. I've heard some people put their fabric in like an unmentionable bag, like a mesh bag when they're washing, and that seems to work for them. I will confess that I don't pre-wash much, so I can't answer that question well for you. I'm going to turn the camera a little bit this way. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've got my half yard laying in front of me, and the half yard of fabric is actually folded so that I have my 2 selvages up here, and this would be the fold that's on the bolt. I'm going to take the fabric and put my finger between these 2 layers, just like this, to scooch it back and forth so it lays nice and flat. I don't want it to be curved or have any wrinkles in it. And then I'm just going to match the selvages up to that fold as best I can. This is just how I fold my fabric when I'm cutting yardage, so that I can do it with my small 6.5 inch by 12.5 inch ruler. I don't have to stand up, and I can keep doing it sitting down in front of the camera. You don't have to do it that way. I'm going to line up, I'm going to cut off either end of this half yard cut. I'm going to probably trim it down to about 15 inches, but you could certainly make it a little bit wider if you'd like to. Oh, Sherlock So says, Becca, I know you have said this way too much, but the kids want to buy me an iron for Mommy Day. What's the name of yours? I have the Panasonic WL607. That's the model number for mine. It is the Panasonic cordless iron. Mine has a ceramic sole plate, and I absolutely love it, and I would highly recommend it. Feel like I keep hitting that microphone, and it's driving me insane. Hold on. I don't like it right on my collar. Let's see how that works. Is that working okay? If I start getting scratchy because it's hitting fabric, just let me know, and I'll get rid of the lapel thing again. I think my double chin is too big for a lapel mic, if I'm being honest. Okay. I got all of these things. I sold my coffee mug from work today. Got to work from home today. That's a coffee mug still sitting there. So 15 inches, which is going to leave me a little bit to play with. Not much, but it is something that I can save. So we're going to set this aside. Now, what I have, I'll put this in my scrap pile, is a cut of fabric that goes selvage to selvage, and it's 15 inches. So instead of 18, I now have 15. And what I'm going to do is open it up so that I have it folded just one time where the selvage ends are meeting. And then I'm going to fold it along the long edges. This is just going to let me get one clear, clean cut without having to do, well, I guess, yeah, because my ruler's only 12 inches and this is 15. So all I'm going to do here is cut like a 1/16 of an inch away from the edge, because I want this to be 2 pieces of fabric. And then I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to measure this at like 22 inches or 21 or 20, depends on how much yours shrunk up. Just cut off the selvages on the other end. So you cut at the fold just a little bit to produce 2 pieces, and then you cut the selvages off, or a chunk of fabric depending on how much you want to get rid of. What you're aiming for are 2 rectangles of fabric from your half yard cut that are measuring about 15 by 20. No big deal. Now what we're going to do is just sew around all 4 sides of this perimeter, but we're going to leave along the side a hole where I can reach in and pull the fabric right side out. So I'm going to start here, back stitch, sew around all 4 sides, come back, back stitch, and then this will be left as a hole to reach my hand open, or my hand in, reach my hand open. How would that even work? You don't need your iron for any of this, so set your iron aside. And you're done cutting, by the way, so set your rotary cutter and your ruler aside. You don't need that either. Doesn't matter what your seam allowance is, sew it with a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, whatever you want. What we're going to end up doing, by the way, we're sewing these right sides together. I'm using batik, so there's really not a right side here. Forgot to mention that. You're going to sew them right sides together. And you're going to end up producing almost like a French seam on the inside of the bag, so you don't have raw edges fraying and all that thread and stuff getting on your food. What is the fabric? This is a batik fabric. It came in a Cotton Cuts half yard bundle that I got from their classic box. I can't tell you the line, but it's probably Hoffman Batiks. It's really pretty. I got it a while ago. And with batiks, there's no selvage on it, so good luck. Unless you label it some way, you won't remember what it is. You can see my fabrics are not lined up perfectly at the corner. And like I said, maybe you can't see because of the lighting, but this is super forgiving. Don't stress. Just make sure that you're attaching the 2 layers together. All right, so now that I have my 2 layers sewn together, right sides together, I'm going to reach in that hole that I left. And I could, if I wanted to, and maybe I will, if I could find my scissors. You can clip your corners if you want those corners to be a little more produced. When you're clipping the corners, you just want to make sure to not cut into these seams for the thread. You just want to cut at an angle right up against that corner of thread that you cut. Speaking of rotary cutters, why is my cutter cutting a wavy line with a stranger blade? I don't know. Is the blade in it the right way? Hello, Carrie. Welcome to the live stream. Sewing Luane says, oh my God, I just realized that the fabric I can use. I have 5 yards of the tackiest high school music fabric. I have never known what to do with it. There you go. You make some lovely popcorn bags. Hi, Grace. Welcome to the live stream. Lucy said, just got here. I hate to be that one, but what is the measurement? 15 by 20 or 22. You need 2 pieces of fabric that are 15 inches by 22-ish, maybe 16 by 22, totally up to you. You're looking for approximate. It could be as small as 12 inches by 20. Whatever you want to do, you just need a good size piece of fabric that's rectangular like this. All right. So once you have all of your bag turned right side out, and don't worry guys, if I'm going too fast for you, I'm going to do this a few more times tonight, so feel free to just not stress. Once you have this all turned out, I'm going to just fold this hole in on itself, and the bigger my seam allowance was, the better folding this in is going to be for me. I'm just going to finger press it down, and I'm going to top stitch right along the edge all the way across this edge so that I can close that hole. And when I say edge stitch, I mean I'm just stitching as close to the edge as I can. And this is going to be hidden, so don't worry if you're not getting as close to the edge as you would like, if your stitching doesn't look that pretty. Don't worry about it. I am using a 2.0 millimeter stitch length, in case anybody wants to know that. I have to rethread my machine. It's making some weird noises with the tension disc. But we'll do that in a few minutes. Hello, Karen from Arizona. Hello, hello. My quilt project says, Becca, can you use flannel? I have a big bolt of that. I would not use flannel on this. I just feel like that would be too fuzzy and I wouldn't want it touching my food. But if you wanted to use it to not hold food that's going to go in the microwave, then probably. All right, so now that I have this sewn together, I'm going to turn it so that I'm working with the short edge. The long edge is going this way, the short edge is towards me. And I'm going to measure about 3 or 4 inches up. In fact, This line right here on my mat is 3 inches, so I'm going to use that as my guide. This does not have to be exact, but we want at least 2 inches. I will tell you my prototype was made with a 2-inch flap. I wanted a little bit more. So I literally threw scrap fabric on my popcorn, but I wanted a little bit more of a lip up there. So I'm making my fold over 3 inches this time. So that's what you're building right now is that flap that I just showed you. You're going to fold this up 3 inches, and then you're going to grab this edge down here and fold it up to this fold, just like this. And then I'm going to stitch this side and this side. And I'm going to back stitch at the start and the end here because I'm going to be putting some strain on this bag as I'm opening and closing it. So I'm going to stitch both sides with back stitch at the front and top. And in this case, I'm going to use about a 1/2 inch seam allowance just because I can. As quilters, we don't really get to use 1/2 inch seam allowances very often, do we? Now, where that flap is, I'm actually going to come back in, and I didn't mention this, but where I go over the flap, I'm going to backstitch a few times over that too, because all of those places where the fabric starts and ends like that are going to get some good pulling when you're turning the bag right side out and such. So this will just help keep it a little bit more secure. There we go. Could this also be used as a potato bag? I would guess so, as long as it's 100% cotton fabric and 100% cotton thread. I don't see why not. So now that you have something that looks like this, we're going to box the corners. And so with the side where the flap is, this should be away from us because this is the top of the bag. Down here, we're going to grab our fabric and kind of fold it like we would one of those paper grocery bags where we pull the side out and try to get the corners of the bottom of the bag to lay on top of each other. And all I'm really looking for here is that the lines are even. They're laying on top of each other quite nicely. I am not worried about anything other than making sure that the shapes look similar. I could measure this if I want to. I actually sew this with a 1-inch seam allowance. So what I do, this is my cheat for when I need to box corners and it doesn't matter about measurements. I just put the tip on the 1-inch line on my needle plate and I sew right here, and I do that to both of them. Now, if you want to measure from this point over, mark it, and then sew on that, you're totally fine. Totally feel free to do that. But this is a no stress, no fuss project. I will tell you, I do backstitch this whole thing just to give it a little bit more oomph. I think I saw Jean Truelove in one of her videos one time had said, if once is good, twice is better. Because I've seen her on projects go over her seam entirely, and she said that. So I'm going to follow that same rule here. Once is twice. If once is good, twice is better. All right. Now I have my corners boxed, and the bag is completely inside out. So all I'm going to do is reach in, and I'm going to turn the bag right side out. And when I do that, I have these boxed corners, and I'm going to poke out with my fingers, just like that. Now, the bigger you make the bigger seam allowance you take when you box the corners, the wider this is going to open. But I feel like with that 1 inch, it stands pretty good on itself. Maybe a 1.5 inches would be good. You'll notice though, my flap is turned over. So what I can do, this looks like it could hold a lot more popcorn than 1/4 cup. This is a new measurement. My prototype is smaller than this. I'm going to fold it over on itself. And I'm just going to reach in there and poke everything out. It's not folding out because I couldn't get my finger in there. There we go. That is my popcorn bag. And I can just kind of give this a nice little fold. It's got a little flap on it. Boom, bang, done. I can put my popcorn kernels in here. So what'll happen when I go to make this, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to measure out a quarter of a cup or maybe a half of a cup, though you're going to want to test for your measurements to see how much popcorn you feel like you could fit in there. But you're going to measure your popcorn kernels out and you're going to put them in your bag and you're going to close it like this and put it in your microwave. That kind of looks like a little tissue box. But you're going to put it in the microwave and you're going to pop it until the popping stops. The kernels are about a minute or a second or two in between each pop, and then you'll reach in and you'll grab it. And the thing that I like, where'd my mice go? The thing that I really like about this bag versus the bowl, when you reach in to get your popcorn, the cotton fabric's going to be hot. This is going to be a little warm. Totally get it. But that silicone bowl stays hot a whole lot longer than this does. So I feel like I can reach in, grab it, and just shake it around a little bit. And within a couple of seconds, definitely by the time I've gotten back to the living room to sit down and watch TV or taking it wherever I'm going to go, it's cooled off enough that I can touch it without burning myself. That bowl, I need oven mitts for. So this, I think, is going to be my preferred way to pop my air pop. Plus, because it's not an air popper, I don't have those rogue kernels shooting all over the kitchen. You know what I'm talking about. And this folds up really, 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 really nicely. Terry says, have you used one? A friend made me one. Not sure it's great. Doesn't pop all the corn. I actually did use it right before the live to pop corn. And I used it earlier and I got the same popping ratio in this bag as I did the silicone cover. So, hello, Dawn. Maria says, this is great. Right now I am making a tissue travel pack covers with a keychain clip for Mother's Day gifts. That's awesome. These could make great Mother's Day gifts. Judy says, Becca, how much popcorn do you put in the bag? So for this size bag, I will tell you, I cut this at 11 inches across by 20 instead of 15 by 22. I put a quarter of a cup of popcorn in there, and you can see it only filled the bag about halfway. I probably could do more in there, but I got a little nervous. I haven't really tested it. Terry said maybe it was the popcorn I used. That could be. If the kernels have been dehydrated, if they've been sitting for a while and they've gotten dehydrated, they're not going to pop as well. Hello, Natalie. No. Oh, the cotton would absorb moisture, so the popcorn would be light. Hello, Gigi. Oh. That's really good popcorn, you guys. Apparently, I'm just going to sit here and eat in front of y'all now. I mean, was it last week that I was sitting here eating corned beef, and now I'm like, popcorn. Welcome to the SEWBECCA live stream where I sit and eat popcorn in front of you. You're welcome. Nom, 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 nom. Ooh, Judy keeps her popcorn in the freezer. That's easy. And Terry said, now you're making me hungry. This is 0 points, so I can eat as much as I want. Hey, Stephanie, thank you. She said, Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter, who is also Stephanie, said, cool bag, Becca. Thank you. Kathy Cantu says, now I want popcorn. Go get it, girl. I'll wait here. Hurry up. Sherlock So says, kids and hubby want some popcorn bags. Make it. It's easy. Hi, Kathy. Welcome to the live stream. Yes, says Heather, I am very silly. Oh. This is a great quick project. Like, it's not even 9 o'clock and I've already shown you how to make one of these. And I've talked to you and I've shown you other things. Literally 5 minutes start to finish. Oh, Gigi had cheesecake. My week points start over. My week resets on Saturday mornings. So tomorrow, usually on the week, I like resetting my week and doing my weigh-in at the beginning of the weekend, because then I feel like I can cheat over the weekend and then I can bust butt. I almost said the bad thing. I can bust a butt during the week while I'm at work to get back on track. And it's actually easier for me to stay on track when I'm at work because I'm busy during the day. I've got work keeping my eye on things, keeping my mind on things, and I plan my calories, carbs, points, whatever. I plan my food each day and I pack it and take it in. And so I only eat what I bring, and I stay busy enough with all the work that I have at work that I really don't have a chance to think about the other food that I want. I'm not really hungry. I'm just bored when I eat most of the time. So I splurge on the weekends, and then I kick butt during the week. And I have climbed the stairs every day this week, even the one day where I went in and I was like, my knee's throbbing just a little bit, and I'm carrying all this stuff, so I'm gonna take the elevator. So I went over and I pressed the little button for the elevator, and literally as soon as I pressed the button, a guy that works in my office walked in, and he walked into the building, and I was like, oh. And I was like, well, I don't want to be seen taking the elevator. So I turned around and lugged my butt over to the stairs. And it has actually gotten so much easier. I get to the top of the stairs now and I'm like, I just got to take that one deep breath to just be like, okay, but I'm not panting. My legs aren't burning. Like, I can totally handle it, even lugging my bag and everything up. It's gotten so much easier. And what I have learned is it's a mindset for me. It's if I just make the turn to the staircase instead of the elevator, I'll take the stairs. I just got to make the turn. Just make the turn. Barbara Jean says, Becca, did you add batting to it? No, I did not. Kathy said, work is good for keeping you too busy to eat. Yes, it is. Unless it is so busy that you can't eat what you need to eat, because I have had those days too, and then you end up splurging on really bad choices. No batting, that's right. Georgia says, I'm an emotional eater too. Me too. My problem is that I eat with every emotion. Yes, girl. Happy, sad, excited, bored. They are all, yes. I'm excited. Let's celebrate. Let's go have a cheesecake. I'm sad. I want a cheesecake. I'm proud. I earned the cheesecake. Like, cheesecake all the time. It's a problem. Jean says, this is so much simpler than my coconut oil in a paper bag popcorn. Yeah, you don't need the coconut oil. Thank you, Terry. Terry said, good job. I am so proud of you. Awesome. Looks like a few people definitely agree with Georgia. Natalie says, I understand that one. Terry says, same here. Gail says, I totally get it. Hey, Gail. Hello, Brenda Hamrick. We're making popcorn bags, and right now, I am eating popcorn out of my prototype from this afternoon. Sewing with Lorraine says, I'm a social eater. You should eat, so you eat, so shall I. Oh, I get it. You eat, so shall I. Yeah, same. Somebody mentioned to me earlier this week, I think that it was at my Weight Watchers meeting last week, maybe. I don't remember. Or maybe it was a comment that one of you left, which, oh my goodness, you guys have made me feel so loved over the past couple of weeks with all of the comments and the outpouring of support on the Weight Watchers videos that I've been doing to check in. So thank you for that. And I've been trying to at least give everybody a little heart, but so many of them have been coming in that I just haven't been able to keep up. So please know that I am going through and I'm reading them, and I'm at least giving them a thumbs up or a little heart or something to let you know that I saw it. So if you haven't seen that, don't think it's because I didn't like you. It's just because I haven't gotten to it yet, but I am going back through and reading them. I will say somebody either left me a comment or it got brought up at the last Weight Watchers meeting with food addiction, which I feel like I have a little bit with an addiction to food. It's so hard to break that because food is something that you need. And I'm not saying that breaking a habit or addiction or anything like that is easy. I am not. I am not discounting the journey or struggle that anybody else goes through. I know everybody, this is it's not an easy path for anybody. But the one unique thing that I feel like food addictions and food problems have is you have to have food to eat. And so, and again, not minimizing, but if you're an alcoholic or you have a drug problem, those are things that you shouldn't be doing anyway. So you can, once you get the power and the courage to do it, once you get it, you detox and you get it out of your life, while you're always going to be tempted, you're always going to have struggles, you're not tempted with it 3 times a day. You're not tempted with it every time you have to nourish your body. And that makes things a little difficult. But I am working with, I'll just say it. I'm working with a therapist to make sure that my food journey is appropriate. So I'm tackling it from the spiritual angle, the mental angle, and the physical angle. So for the couple of you that are not even watching, but for the couple of you that have written me very lovely emails telling me that I'm not taking this seriously, trust me, I'm taking this seriously. All right. All right. Kathy said, I can see on your watch all your rings are full. Well, my exercise one isn't, but all of the steps are. Thank you. I have been saying the same thing. You cannot not eat. That's right. Sugar is a gateway drug. As an infant, lactose is sugar. That's why babies cry when they are hungry. Oh, wow. I hadn't even thought about that. But yes, it is. I've heard the same thing. I've heard sugar and carbs are kind of like a gateway food. Once you detox and you stop eating them, your body actually doesn't really want them anymore. And I've seen this myself, but you got to break that. You got to break that cycle and either take it down to a respectable volume or just cut it out entirely. So it's a little hard to do. Sewing with Lorraine says, one of my main food eating problems is going out with friends. They order loads of food, so I feel guilty if I don't eat with them. Yeah, me too. Amy says, therapy is everything and is so helpful and on so many levels. Absolutely. Gail says, when I was going through chemo, the nurses told me that sugar is a fertilizer for cancer. Huh. I need to remember that. Maybe that'll keep me away from the sweets. Judy says, yeah, I noticed. Oh, I read that. Oh, no, I did not. She said, yes, I noticed that you have met a goal. Your wedding ring is on your finger. So proud of you. Thank you. I woke up the other day and I was like, you know what? Pull it out of my nightstand, just see if it fits. And if it doesn't and it's too tight, then I'm not going to worry about it and I'm not going to beat myself up, but we're just going to see. I'm not going to wait for a big ceremonial thing. I'm just going to put it on. And so I slipped it on my chunky little finger. And I didn't have to push very hard, so I was really excited about that. Lori Fair says, good on you, Becca. You are doing all the right things. Thank you. Wanda Marsh says, weight problems definitely have a psychological component. A therapist sounds like a great positive step. Yes, it does. Thank you. All right, so I have shown you how to make a bag with a half-yard cut. And I think I'm just going to pull out that other half-yard cut to make another one. And this time I'm going to make it the same way. I'm going to walk you through it one more time. And then I'm going to show you how to make it with a couple fat quarters, because I actually think making it with 2 fat quarters is going to be even easier. So measurements again, because somebody's going to ask. I have a half-yard cut of fabric in front of me. We're going to give you the overhead view so you can see a little bit better. I have a half-yard cut of fabric in front of me, and I'm going to cut this down so that it's about 15 is what I said before, so that's what we'll stick with. 15 inches wide. So I'm going to cut off this side just enough to get through all 4 of those all 4 of those layers to get a nice clean cut. I'm going to flip it over and put that fresh cut right on the 15 mark on my mat. And then I'm going to cut here, which will give me a nice little piece that I can use for my scrap pile. I'll put this in my scrap pile. Now I've got what was a half-yard cut that is now 15 inches across, and I pre-washed this. I've got my 2 selvage layers up at the top, and I've got my fold back here. I want, and I can actually do this in a little more I can streamline this one cut. If I arrange my fabric so that this fold comes right up to the selvages or just below it, then I can take one cut and go through all 4 of those layers. If I fold it in on itself, it'll be even easier. Take one cut, go through all of these layers. That's going to get rid of the selvage and turn one wide piece of fabric into 2. Now, when I did that, I made 2 pieces of fabric that are 15 inches by probably 20 or 22, depending on how wide your fabric is. Totally don't need to overstress this. Just work with what you have. If you see something where you have an edge that's not quite lining up for whatever reason, try scratching it into place, but don't stress. You can either trim it up and get it nice and even, or you can just sew with it. It'll be fine. I'm just going to sew with mine. So what I'm going to do, pull this over to the machine. I'm going to start and stop here, back stitch, go all the way around and come back over here and back stitch. I'm going to leave a hole so I can reach in and turn this out. I'm going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Feel like what we're doing is very similar to a French seam. Okay, that's going to really bother me. I need to fix this. I'm sorry, the rattling. Sometimes on this machine, the way the thread goes into these tension discs, it makes like a clinking noise when I'm sewing. And the way that I have to fix that is just to unthread the machine and rethread it. And I find it's usually because it's not in the disc the right way. So I'm just going to fix that really quick. There we go. The only problem is now I've purposely taken the thread out of the eye of the needle and I've got to put it back in there. Fun times. Get in there. There we go. That's it. There we go. All right. Let's keep going, shall we? Hold on. Just noticed I'm having some light issues. This makes the weight balance a little bit better. There we go. I learned that trick from Tiff. Speaking of, where's Tiffany tonight? I did get a Marco Polo from her earlier, so she might be busy. Her and Teresa are both gone. It's interesting. Hi, Pieces, Love, and Quilting. I can't remember your name. I'm so sorry, but hello. I know you told me before, but it's hard to remember when people have real names and different YouTube names. I have a hard time remembering who's who. Everyone is gone. You're stuck with me. That's okay, Tracy. So, Becca, how come you don't use your auto threader on the Juki? Do you not like it? Oh, Courtney. Got it. Thank you, guys. I actually find it's easier just to put the thread in the needle. It's so finicky for me. I don't love it. I don't love the threader. But it's not because the threader is bad. It's really more a me issue than a Juki issue. I'm so used to the auto threader on the Baby Lock that literally does it for you. And this one is more like a thread assist. By the time I figure it out, I feel like I could have gotten the thread through the eye of the needle. Hello, Claire. All right. So here we go. I'm just going to flatten this out a little bit, and we're going to do the same thing. I have both of my right sides sewn together. I'm going to take my fingers and fold the fabric in along that hole and line up those folds against each other, just like so. Do you line the bags? When I do this, it actually lines the bags. So I sewed two 15 by 22-ish, maybe 20 if you want, 22-inch pieces together, right sides together, and that will line the bag for me automatically. What we're going to do is something that's kind of a little bit like a French seam. There will be no raw edges inside the bag. Now I'm going to edge stitch along the side that has the hole to close the bag up. There you go. Now I've got this bigger piece of fabric here. Hi, Julie. Thank you. She says, just tuning in. You are looking great. Thank you. All right, so now what I'm going to do is turn this so that the short edge is facing me. I'm going to fold that up about at least 2 inches, but I think I'm going to go with 3. This is going to be our flap. And by the way, when you're working with directional fabric, you just want to make sure, like if you're working with directional fabric, you want the fabric to go along the short edge on this. Does that make sense? Like if you, this is the direction of the bag. Once I fold the flap in, then I'm going to grab this other edge and I'm going to pull it all the way up to the top. And I'm just going to line it up as best I can. Hey! You're in the shadows tonight. Oh, I remember. I am so sorry, Tiff. Everybody say, I'm so sorry. I just called you out too. That's probably what the Marco Polo was earlier that I haven't seen. Love you, girl. Sorry. Don't hate me. I told Tiffany that sometimes I watch her live stream and I feel bad because I'm watching from my phone and I can't tag everybody. And when I jump in, everybody says hi and I love it. And I don't want you to stop, but I feel like I can't say hi to everybody. And so sometimes I just don't say anything at all. And she was like, oh, yeah, I do the same thing. I lurk sometimes too. I was like, okay. So just lesson for you. You never know who's watching without talking. Never know. That is until you do a raffle and then everybody comments raffle and then you're like, oh, you were here all along. Fabric bag. My machine sounds weird. Gonna have to unthread it up at the top too. All right, so now, see, you never know who's lurking. Look, there's Laura Lynn. Laura, text me. We need to work out our block sewing. I think we have a date for that. I'm so excited to have you back. Okay, there's my bag. Reach my hands in here and poke it out. I want to make sure that the flap is up at the top away from me. And I'm going to grab the corners and dun, 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 we're going to fold it in on top of itself. Just like that. We want to make sure that the angles, just like I said before, are close. They don't have to be mirror images of each other, but we want them to be similar in shape. That's what we're really looking for, is a similar shape. We're going to give these a tug to make sure that the seam is nice and flat. And we're going to flap it over and looks good. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do 1.5 inches this time. I'm going to sew 1.5 inches from the tip on either one of these, and I'm going to back stitch on it a couple of times because that's going to get some stress. So 1.5 inches, which I think that looks like a good place to measure. I'm not marking anything. We're just going to do it. There we go. Flip her around. I said flipper. I like dolphins. Hey, behave! Silly foot trying to go under my seam. That's right, Bubba. You listen here. All right, there we go. I'm excited too. Yes, yes, Jelly Race with Allison. She's here from Cali. Awesome. All right, so here we go. We've got our bag. This is all built out, but it is inside out. So now all we got to do is reach inside. Pull it out. Team Lurker. Oh, Laura Lynn, aren't you doing a 12-hour stream a week from tomorrow? 12-hour live stream on your channel? Shout out to Laura Lynn and her 12-hour streams, guys, because, whew, I don't know how I can do that. I couldn't do that. I would not. I would be dead tired after like 3, maybe 4. I mean, I've marked it private just because it... the quality of the video was horrible. But if anybody watched Tracy and I trying to do the watch party for So Yeah, we were 4 hours in going, Laura Lynn goes for 12. Not all the time, just sometimes. I think she has a 12-hour live stream a week from tomorrow. So make sure you check out her YouTube channel, see what that's all about. I won't be there for the whole thing, but I will definitely be popping in for bits and pieces of it, and I'm really excited. All right, so now that I have popped out the corners, I can fold my flap back over on top of itself, just like that. And there we go. This is another bag, and this one, just to show you the difference in size when I box those corners differently, this one has a corner, a boxed corner that's about 1.5 inches, and this one is 1 inch. And so what that gives you is a little bit more of a rounder feeling on the bag. So 2 popcorn bags, and these are actually, with the flap substantial like this, I feel like you can use them for anything. They could be snacks, they could be, I mean, this is a really big snack bag, let's just be honest. But you could put almost anything down in here as long as it wasn't anything that you were going to lose. I wouldn't put anything small in here that could get out and be lost forever. This could be a great little makeup brush bag or something like that. So it doesn't have to be just food. So if all you have is polyester thread and polyester fabric, that may be a good use for still being able to do the project. Eating some popcorn, but not putting it in your microwave. Oh, Tiffy, you're awesome. Thank you. Polly says, I will be recovering from surgery on May 7th, but I will try to pop on Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. That's awesome. Good luck in your surgery. Pieces, Love, and Quilting. Courtney had a live stream today. You guys should check out her channel. The more we can do to support other content creators, especially those creative content creators on here, the better this community is going to get. So now's your time. Tracy said, my fabric is upside down. Make another one. Now's your time to share. If you have a channel that you love, if you have a channel that you've built, if you have a channel that you're running, then share it in the comments. Tell people you have a channel. Let them find you. I think we've got some moderators here that are willing to help provide links. And you know what? I'll even get in on the game too. Just for a couple minutes. Then I'll show you how to do this with some pack quarters, and then we'll do a little share in the Facebook group. Patty says, can you use it to bake a potato in a microwave? I don't see why not. I don't see why not, my friends. There we go. Oh, Courtney, you're amazing. And I'm just going to go over here and make sure that I have got, because I'm thinking, I cleaned up all of my commands in my chat bot, and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think I have Laura Lynn's channel command active, and I want you guys to be able to get there. So I'm actively getting it. There we go. She's getting close to 30,000 subscribers, guys. So if you have not checked out Laura Lynn, go do so, and I'll give you okay. If you do exclamation MPQS for Mama Pop Quilt Shop in the chat, MPQS, I think that'll work. You should now go to channel. I'm helping out so that Tiffany doesn't have to do it on her own. Kathy's Quilts is right here. Quilts. There you go. There you go. My Quilt Projects has a channel. We're going to get hers and put it in here. Boom. Peggy Cox says the only difference between the popcorn bag and the potato bag is the potato bag has cotton batting. Oh, well, there you go. Mary Christensen says you need a special batting for potato bags. I had one made with regular batting and it caught fire. Okay, so if you put some batting in between those layers when you're doing all this, then you can probably make it a potato bag, and maybe that's something we can do on a live stream one day. All right, that's all the links I'm going to put in the chat. And it's not because I don't love any of you more, or I love some of you more than anybody else, but it's because I am here to sew and hang out with you and not paste links in the chat. So you can always find somebody's channel by writing down what their name is in the chat and then going to YouTube and searching for that name, and you will find their channel. All right, let's show you how we're going to do this with fat quarter. It's the first time I've done it. I've been doing these with half yard cuts. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I'm going to use fat quarters because I feel like I have more fat quarters than I know what to do with. So I've got some fat quarters that are washed. And here we go. These are all the fat quarters that I've washed. And I have them in 3 coordinated pairs. I have this lovely dolphin fabric because dolphins, duh. And then I've got these reddy pink ones. These two go together. I thought this would be really fun. And I felt like this blue one kind of looked like water and could go with the dolphins. And then I felt like these two were a lot of fun and could go together. So I've got 3 coordinated bag looks that I can make. And I think I'm going to do this one first because it's on top and that teal is just speaking to me. So I'm going to set those others aside for now. What I have to do is cut these down to the sizes that I need. Both of these are going to be cut to the same size that I cut when I had half yard pieces of fabric. It's just they're 2 different prints now. So I'm going to kind of shake it out a little bit. Shake it out. I feel like singing that Taylor Swift song. Shake it off, shake it off. I'm not even singing the right tune, but it's in my head. I just can't get it to come out of my mouth the right way. I'm going to grab my ruler just like this. And I'm going to cut this at about 15 inches, 14, 15 inches, somewhere around there. Shoop. I'm going to flip this over and I'll have a good chunk to put on the scrap bin later. I'm going to have so many of these popcorn bags to take to work on Monday. People are going to be like, what were you doing? I was like, I was on YouTube making popcorn bags. Why aren't you subscribed? Please take one. All right, so I'm going to set this 15-inch wide piece of fabric aside. And I'm going to cut oh gosh, this one's so pretty. I don't know. I don't want to give this one away. You know, I might not be able to give any of these away. Is it wrong to have 15 popcorn bags. I know I said in the beginning these are great because they took up less space, but if I use popcorn bags instead of the silicone popcorn popper, then I have room to store all of them, right? 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 No? Get rid of them? Well, you're no help. All right. Now I don't have to cut on the fold with these because each one is a fat quarter, but I do need to cut the selvage off. I guess maybe I don't really need to. Let's leave the selvage on and see what happens. We're going to line them up. So I'm going to lay one down. At this point, I will tell you, thank you so much, Laura Lynn, for jumping in there. I am going to, there we go. I'm going to smooth these out and I'm going to try to line them up so that they're on top of each other. All of this is going to be hidden in the seams anyway, so we're going to leave the selvages on. Who cares? See what happens. I want them to be approximately the right size, and this one is just a little bit shy, so that goes to tell you, no two fabrics shrink alike. I'm going to just clean this up really quick. Boom. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is no stress. Use a silicone bowl to store them, Tracy said. Okay, I will, but that's dirty and those are clean, so not right now. I'm going to sew just like I did before, leaving a hole to turn it out right side out. And then once I turn it right side out, once I pull it, turn it out, turn it inside out, whatever. You know what I mean? Once I birth the bag, I need to decide which one's going to be my exterior and which one's going to be my lining. And that might be a tough choice because I really like both of these. I think, I don't know. Part of me is like, I think I like the teal for the outside. And then I'm looking at this leaf fabric. I was thinking I wanted this for the outside, but then I was thinking, no, I like this for the outside. So I guess it's going to be a mystery which one we choose. Let me know in the chat which side you think should be the exterior. Should it be this leaf print or the teal? You tell me. Let's see what you say. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. This kind of looks like a Hawaiian shirt, and every time I see it, I think of Magnum PI. Oh, it came unthreaded again. I think I have a burr in this needle, but it's not time to change the needle yet. But if the needle's bad, the needle's bad. See, I can normally get the thread in the needle like the first time. Oh, well, that didn't happen the first time. I don't like the automatic. There we go. Nope. Of course, I am making a fool of myself because Bubba was like, you don't want to use the threader? Fine. We're going to show people how you can't really thread the machine. Fine, Bubba, I hear you. Could you just please let me put the thread into your little hole? Thank you. Please? Yes? No? No? You know what? Take the thread. Get in the hole. Go to your home. What is that Happy Gilmore movie where he's yelling? Oh, you know why? Stupid light. There we go. I can see it now. And in. Yes, there we go. That's why. It's the light. The light does it for me. Yeah, the light did it. And we're going to cover that back up so the weight balance isn't so great, isn't so bad. All right. I invested in the plate with a bigger hole. Ooh. Is Cletus like that? Jonah, I hope you're feeling better soon. Wet the back of the needle. Yep. Well, that's my trick. I wet the thread. Well, I snip the thread so I have a really sharp, clean tip. I wet my fingers, and then I use that to wet the thread, and I wet the back of the needle, and it goes in like a charm, lickety split. But when I can't see the needle because the light isn't on, because I have it covered up, I can't see where I'm putting it, so then I don't do well. Speaking of Magnum PI, we were just talking about Tom Selleck's mustache day. Oh my gosh, that thing's a legend. His mustache, right? Working on my second attempt at this bag now. You get it. Claire Glover says, I joined late tonight. Did you use any type of batting? No, ma'am. Just fabric. Just fabric. Nothing else. What did just happen? Oh, my eye itches. That's what happened. If you do flex the needle, you have a little bit of room. I got it. I'll have to take a look at that, Quiltessa. She said that investing in the plate with the bigger needle hole is better because if you do flex the needle at all, you don't cause it to break or anything. So awesome. So now all the steps are exactly the same as what I did before. I'm going to run my fingers along the seams, poke the corners out like this. Hello, how you doing? And we're going to do that along all four edges. Just like that. And then I'm going to flatten this out. I'm going to close the hole by taking my fingers, rolling the seam so it's nice and flat. And I'm going to use my fingers to fold the fabric in on itself. Then I'm going to take an edge stitch along this edge and stitch that closed. I'll flatten that down. And now we've got to decide, are we doing the teal or are we doing the leaf on the outside? Is this going to be a Magnum PI bag or is this going to be a teal bag? I don't know. Somebody needs to tell me what to do. What do you think? Actually, you guys probably have already been putting it in the chat and I haven't been paying attention. Oh, starch on my thread for threading. Awesome. Just keep swimming. Using an automatic threader on my machine is a game changer for me. Yes. Teal, 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 says Susan. Kathy says Susan. Lauren's chanting teal. Oh boy. Leaf outside. Kathleen, you are in. Magnum PI. Teal, teal. Hello, 100 Proof Quilter. Welcome to the live stream. Wow. Y'all want... Oh, leaf, leaf. Facebook. Leaf exterior. This one. I wish I had more of this fabric because I would do it both ways. Hello, Lori Clark. Welcome to the live stream. Leaf, leaf, teal. Leaf, leaf, teal. Nancy Gus said teal. Hi, Brandy. I loved your video today. Oh, Brandy. Brandy is 100 Proof Quilter. Teal, leaf, teal, leaf. It is probably like neck and neck. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Tiffany, teal or leaf? Which side goes on the outside of this popcorn bag? We're going to leave it to Tiffany to decide. I'm Diana said purple, LOL. We're just going to eat some popcorn and wait. Leaf, purple, teal, leaf. Come on, Tiff. Tom Selleck, leaf. I think leaf is in the lead. Leaf, all right. Leaf it is. All right, so. Uh-oh. Yes, okay. I think we're about to see if I'm wrong. Since we're building this inside out, we want our exterior fabric to be up. So if you're working with two different fabrics, exterior fabric is on top, your inside fabric is on the bottom. And then we're going to fold over the short edge about 3 inches, give or take an inch or 2 or 3. Smooth that down with our hand. And then we're going to grab this fold or this seam. And we're going to fold it all the way up to that fold that we just made. And we're going to pat that down with our hands. And we're going to sew about 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, right along this edge and right along this edge. Now, when I do that, just as a reminder, I am going to backstitch here. I'm going to backstitch here where the flap is. I'm going to backstitch here when I end. You guys like that? That's on the outside. This is the inside. Now, the flap is going to be the same as the outside. It's not contrasting like that. Though, if you wanted to really start getting very intricate with how you pieced it, you could make your flap a different color. But mine's a wraparound bag, so it doesn't do that. And for those of you in the chat that are going to ask or have been wondering and you're late joining, you could use this pattern for a nice wrap and zap baked potato bag for the microwave. You just need batting, because I'm just using fabric with no batting. But I am making sure to use 100% quilting cotton thread and quilting cotton fabric. If you use anything with polyester, rayon, or anything other than cotton, it's going to melt, and you don't want it to melt on your popcorn. So now that I've got that sewn, I'm going to box my corners. So that means I'm just going to reach inside. I'm going to have the flap folded away from me. So I can see right here, I've got my flap. I'm going to put that away from me. I'm going to put my hand in here, and I'm going to kind of spread it out like this. And that's going to make the seams, the side with the seams, kind of make these little triangles. And what I'm looking for is that the triangles are roughly about the same shape. And then you're going to want to sew a seam right across here and right across here, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches away from the point. This is not super precise. It doesn't matter what the measurement is as long as you're consistent. So what I usually do, and this is my trick, this is what I did on the other ones, I find a spot on my sewing machine bed where I keep this point lined up and I just sew straight across. And then when I get to the other one, I do the same thing. I make sure that that point is lined up to the same spot. And I think mine is at like 1.5 inches. The spot that I'm looking at, that's what I did last time, and it worked pretty nicely. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. If you're curious, I'm using the drip holes for the oil in the bed of my machine as the measurement. Laurelyn said that is just taking the love of fabric too far if you melt your popcorn bag into your snack. All right, so now I've got my bag all put together and it is inside out. But this is what I want to show you is these seams, because I didn't show you in the other ones. These are finished. They're not raw edge. It's not quite a French seam, but it's close. So I don't have to worry about the bag fraying over multiple washes when I use it. So now I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to turn it right side out. Aw, Claire Glover says, my internet isn't behaving tonight. I'm going to have to watch this over again another day. Aw, I'm so sorry. And then I'm going to poke out my little boxed corners, just like that. And then I'm going to reach in to my flap it. Oh, okay, so look, when I have my flap open, when I have this open and I'm eating my snack, I do have a pop of that on the outside. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. And then on the inside, I'm like, ooh, hello, popcorn. But you're going to grab your flap and you're just going to tuck it over the other side. Are you cutting off the excess from the boxing? Nope, I am not, because that would introduce raw edges that will fray. I'm leaving it in there. So all of these have the excess in there. And it just adds a little bit of weight to the bottom of the bag to help it stand up. And there we go. There's another popcorn bag. Now I've got 3 of these done. It's been an hour and a half and I've made 3. And I've been stopping to have snacks and chat and drinks. Super easy. Super fast. Where'd the other ones go? Oh, there they are. Under the fabric. Look at them. Aren't they great? Popcorn bags for everyone. Doo-dah, doo-dah. I really love this one. Oh, doo-dah day. Oh, it's great. Tom Selleck popcorn bag. My mom's going to love that one. Watch. She'll be like, dibs. What are the instructions for popping the popcorn? Great question. So, this is my prototype. I'm going to move this out. The measurements for this bag were a little bit different, but it's a little bit smaller than what I wanted. So what I did is for my demo, this bag measured 11 inches instead of 15 inches across by like 20 inches instead of 22. So it is a little bit smaller, and you can see that this stands up a little bit taller than these do because the fabric was a little bit longer, I think. I don't know why. I do think this stood up a little bit longer. Anyway, oh, I know why. Because I made this wider, so it looks wider. Duh. So this one was 11 inches across by like 20 inches, so it looks more square. Either way is fine. You could make this whatever size you want. But popcorn popping instructions. So what I do is I measure in a measuring cup my kernels, and I put them down in the bag with nothing else. For this size bag, I did a 1/4 cup, and this is approximately, I've been eating on this a little bit, but the bag came approximately halfway full. It wasn't bursting at the seams. When I pulled it out, honestly, it was just slightly full. I felt like I could probably put more in there. With these, I probably could do maybe a 1/2 cup. I will tell you to be careful. If you put a 1/2 cup in there, watch it, maybe work your way up to it. You could definitely start with a 1/4 cup, maybe even get up to a 1/2 cup, maybe even a little bit more. It's really just going to be depending on the size of fabric that you used. Now, when you do this, of course, anytime you're making popcorn, whether it's microwave popcorn or air pop in an air popper, you always want to be near the popper and you want to listen for it. So I'm going to tell you, it took my microwave, everybody's wattage is different, so the timing could be different. A 1/4 cup of kernels in one of these bags took my microwave about 1:45 to pop the whole bag. Maybe it was 2 minutes. But I think I set it for 2 minutes and it was done before the microwave finished. So I had to run in there and get it. Just stay close and listen until the kernels stop popping, 1 to 2 seconds in between each. And yeah, there you go. Tubes, huh? Somebody said they would make this out of M&M fabric. That'd be funny. Do you think you could trick yourself into thinking you're eating M&Ms by eating popcorn out of an M&M bag? Marie says, I love mixing raisinets with my popcorn, but after it's cooked, of course. If I put raisinets or raisinets in here, this would not be a 0-point snack. Oh, thank you. Laurelyn said she loves my hair this way. It actually needs to be cut, and it's so dirty right now. I dry shampooed it today. Raisinets, gotcha. That's okay. You can yell at me anytime, Laurelyn. That's fine. Go ahead. I'm okay with that. Guys, see, I'm getting my nails done again. Look. Look how pretty. Mama and I tried out a new nail salon for pedicures. We went a couple weeks ago. And surprise, the color didn't peel off my nails 2 days afterwards. So really excited. We went back yesterday to get our polish changed. What does your t-shirt say? Pressed to the dark side. This is an old Missouri Star shirt. I've had this for years. They don't sell it anymore. Hello, Nikki. Welcome to the live stream. Stephanie said, do you just fold it down when you put it in the microwave? Yep. So if I were to make some popcorn with one of these bags, I pull out my bag. I'd lift this open. Just dump my kernels in here, measure them, of course, put it in. And then I just close it up and I just lay it with the flap side up and I put it in the microwave. And the flap being at least 2 inches, I like them 3 inches like this, but this flap keeps the fabric or keeps the popcorn kernels from just shooting out all over the place. And you have enough room for the popcorn to just kind of start spreading out and it goes wherever it needs to go. When you pull this out of the microwave, the fabric will be warm, but it won't stay as hot as like a silicone popcorn popper like I have with this Weight Watchers one. This stays hot for a really long time. This one stays hot for just a few seconds and eventually cools down enough for you to carry it. Oh, Jen says, I love that shirt. I'm hosting a May the 4th at work. That shirt would have been fantastic. Nikki wants to know what I'm eating. It looks yummy. Air pop popcorn. Ooh, Marie said popcorn fabric would be cool, and I've seen it. That would be cool. Susan said you could sneak popcorn into a movie theater as a bag because it looks like a makeup bag. Yes, you could. I don't know why. Like, I haven't been to a movie theater in years. And I honestly don't know if I'll ever go back. Because they have it now where when a movie hits a theater, you can rent the movie for like 20 bucks or something. And you can watch it from your home. And I have a really nice TV and I have a really comfortable couch. And for the price, for 20 bucks, my husband and I can both watch it. And that is a lot cheaper than paying for a movie ticket plus all the popcorn and concessions and stuff. So I don't know if I'll ever go back. Maybe like a once in a while, but definitely not like what we used to do. However, I will say, oh my goodness. Kernel went down the wrong hole. I will say, with movie theaters, I don't understand why they don't have air popcorn. I want to have popcorn, but I don't want all the oil and the butter and stuff because it's way unhealthy. And I want it in a size that works for me. So I always feel bad like if I have to sneak in air pop or something like that. But they don't have something that I can have on Weight Watchers, not without spending 500 points for a tub of oiled buttered popcorn. Sewing with Luane says, so did you ever find the lost needle from last time? Yes, I did. How long to microwave the quarter cup for? About 2 minutes, Tracy. Give her 1 minute, 30 seconds is what I did. Some people might need 2 minutes. I would put it in for 2 minutes, but don't leave the microwave because it will finish before then. It just depends on how big your microwave is. All right, let's put more popcorn in my mouth. Let's go take a look and see what you guys have been working on tonight. So, exclamation Facebook will get you a link to the Facebook group, which is exactly where I'm going to go right now. See, just like that. And what I'm going to do is show you guys what you've been working on tonight. So, Tanya Shea says, made these for my hubby. He loves trains. Very pretty. Oh, there's me with my ring, with my old nail color, because I changed my nail color. Oh, wow. Barbara Ritchie, this is what I'm doing tonight. And then she's going to make some popcorn bags. Nice. Trish says, this is what you use if you want to make a potato bag. It's Wrap and Zap. You can get it from Pellon. It's by Pellon. You can get it at Joann. Very easy to come by. Some people use that when they make their bowl cozies too. Oh, wow. Natalie's working on some cross stitch. Would like to finish the first month this week. That's awesome. That's very nice. I need to do some cross stitch. I haven't done it in a while. The one thing I have a photo of that I made this week. I made this on Sunday during Tiffany's Live. It needs buttons to hold the triangles down. I also finished the body of my ring toss quilt. It needs borders, and I can then get it quilted. You guys should check out Tiffany's live stream from this past Sunday. She showed you how to make one of these, and it's kind of similar, I think, for this project. Susan said, here are a few popcorn bags that I've made for family. You'll be asked to make more. Trust me. I'm actually making this because it was her suggestion that we look at it a while ago. So I keep dropping a kernel. Patricia Eamon says, I made this for my son. He's my golden knight. I'm so happy. He's in the Navy and he just got his leave approved, so he'll be here Friday for several days. Yay! I love him and I miss him. He's in Florida. I'm in Virginia. It's a slightly modified fabric cafe pattern made to fit his bunk. He's going on a 3-month underway soon. The fabric I bought a couple years ago with him in mind. First of all, thank you for your service. Second of all, happy Mother's Day. Third of all, I hope he loves it. That's gorgeous. Stephanie Harris working on glue basting approximately 300 3-inch hexes. I lost the over 10-year-old pattern, so I'm going off memory. So who knows? By the time I'm finished, I might have my own pattern. That's really pretty fabric. 300 hexes. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Sherry Martell made 12 stockings. You're getting in the Christmas spirit. Might as well start early. Nancy Guest did some embroidering on some towels for a wedding gift. Dawn Partridge is a tatter, and she was showing some tatting that she did that will eventually become a pillowcase lace. All right, let me refresh. Two new member requests will get you. Give me just a second. Innie and Julie, we've got you both. Oh, wow. Debbie did her Tiffany tote. That's really cute. I love it. I want to do one. Pally Lawrence is doing an FPP baseball quilt that she's making for one of her therapists. That's awesome. Oh, we should have done something for my mom's therapist, but she's coming back. I'll make something over the next few weeks and she can give it to her then later. Lisa Matthews is working on catching up on her journey quilt. I need to get caught up on mine. I've got some ideas. I'm going to do it this weekend. Tara Lee is making a new Baker Street bag. I need a pick-me-up. Yes. And I love that fabric, and that zipper is going to be amazing with it. We've seen that one. We've seen this one. There's my ring. We've seen the potato. Yep. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling through all the same projects. Ha ha. Keep going. This is older posts, so we'll just keep pulling past those. But I do want to show you this. So you guys have been asking about my mom. I get this question occasionally. How is the therapy working for your mom? So when mom came here in the end of March, just before April 1st, it was like the 25th or something like that. Her therapy started in the first week of March, I think, or first week of April. This is what her legs looked like. They were red. They were extremely swollen, and her feet were even swollen. So like from her knee down were hot, they were red, they were swollen. And this was actually taken at the ER because the swelling was so bad. This was after her second appointment. Her first appointment, they went in, they did some measuring, they did some baseline. The second appointment, they went in and did some, they started to do her, it was after the first time they did work on her legs, and her legs swelled up even more than they normally did, just a little bit, but they got hot and red. And this was actually taken at the ER because they sent us to the ER to see if she had a blood clot. And so that's what this is from. But she has done almost 30 days worth of therapy. She's gone 3 times a week for the past 4 weeks, and they've been doing massage and therapy. She has lymphedema, so she was doing lymphedema therapy. And this is what her legs looked like last night. Night and day difference. Like her feet look like feet again. Her legs, her calves have shape and definition. Her ankles are still a little swollen, especially her left ankle. You can kind of see it here. It's still got a lot of fluid buildup, but you can see just like on her right leg, the calf definition, it's amazing. They measured one of the legs. I don't remember which one's which, but one of her legs went down 10 inches in diameter and the other one went down 13 inches. Her legs were painful. It hurt for her to walk. It hurt for her to do anything. The swelling was so much, there was so much swelling that her legs itched all the time. They hurt all the time. Her joints hurt all the time. And there wasn't any relief. It really sucked for her. But because you guys have been so helpful in giving us so much information and so much advice, instead of waiting for her to move in next year to do that therapy, we prioritized her coming now and doing it now and continuing to set goals and healthy lifestyle choices at home for her. So she's been walking. We've gotten her a couple of walkers. She has one at her home. She has one in her basement apartment. And then she has a really nice one that's a lot of fun to play with. But she has another one that she uses for her every day, everywhere she goes. She's walking better because she can stand upright, and it allows her to put more, like, she's not bent over. She's not walking so great with a cane. So this has worked out really well for her. The nice thing about this is now that she's done the vein therapy, she has done the lymphedema therapy, now she can come up and do physical therapy for her hips, her knees, and her back. And that's what she's doing in June. So she's actually here tonight, but in the morning, my mom and dad are leaving to go back to their home in Southwest Virginia. And they will come back at the end of May, early June, and they'll be here for the whole month of June while mom works on physical therapy for her knees and back. So she is doing amazing. This is a night and day difference. And I just wanted to let you guys know how well she's doing, because this is definitely a success. And this has been a big thing for us. So there you go. That's an update on Mama. I'm going to refresh and see what else we have in the chat. You're welcome, Julie. Thank you for joining. Jan Johnson said, I just finished this for my mother-in-law for Mother's Day. Beautiful. I love it. X's and O's. Very pretty. Barbara McCauley trying the Tunisian stitch. I need to try some other stitches. That looks nice. I like that. Ooh, Amy Walsh is making Tiffany's life wallet today. Let's take a look at this. So pretty. Can we just make Tiffany make one for me? Could we do that? Oh, goodness. Lucy Scott says, pretend the football cards are playing cards. Making a few of these for the grandkids so that we can play card games and they won't spill their cards. Oh, okay. That's kind of neat. I like that. That's neat. Another Tiffany tote. Oh, Carol Lewis. This is what she's working on tonight. We've got Lisa Matthews quilt blocks. We've seen this. I think we've got all of these. We'll refresh one more time. People that knit are amazing, Gail says. Yeah. I can only knit back and forth. I can't do anything in the round, but hopefully soon I could. Maybe one day. Joy says, I'm so happy to see Mama Nancy doing so well. Me too. She has been, Tunisian. Got it. Thank you. Mom's been doing laps, and I have the best husband. Like, if I'm just being real, like, I don't know how I got so lucky. You know how sometimes, I don't know if you ever watch How I Met Your Mother, but there's an episode in there, I think, in How I Met Your Mother, where they talk about the reacher and the settler. And maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was I don't remember. I think it was How I Met Your Mother. But they're talking about how like somebody's the reacher and the other one is the settler. And Jason and I always joke because I tell him he's the settler and then he tells me, yeah, I'm the settler. And I'm like, no, neither. You're wrong. But Jason's an amazing guy. He's an amazing husband. He's an amazing father. He's an amazing friend. He's just an amazing all-around guy. My mom has been here for over a month. His mother-in-law has been here for over a month. And Jason works from home. And every day, I've not done it once because I'm going to the office. Every day that she has had to go to physical therapy, he packs her up, takes her to physical therapy. And then he packs up and goes and picks her up from physical therapy. Every day while they're home together, Zoe's at school, I'm at work, he walks her up and down the driveway about 2 times a day. Every day he helps make sure that she's got coffee in the morning. Like he takes care of her while I'm at work and he doesn't have to, but he does. And that means so much to me. He's such a great guy and I don't say it enough. So if you guys ever wondered, like I'm in love with my husband. He's an amazing guy and I'm lucky to have him. So there you go. Peggy said, I'm happy to hear that your mom is doing a lot better. Me too. Did you hang the last wall hanging I sent you? Yes, I did. Almost immediately. It's hanging up right over there. I'll post a picture in the Facebook group. Actually, I guess I could do that right now, couldn't I? Because why not? Just take my phone. And we will do that. And now I can go post it in the Facebook group and now I can show you. Why can't I can post in the group too, right? 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 Oh, no, wait. I don't want to see the Facebook shorts. Let's see. So Becca and friends. And we're just going to post the video, the picture. There we go. Here it comes. And we're going to refresh. And we're going to refresh. Look at, there it is. Boom. Right on the wall. Hoo-yah. Booyah. 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 Karen says, your mom has made amazing gains. It's so good to see. Your husband is a real partner and you deserve the best. Thank you. And you know, Jason and I both we both had a first marriage and we were both divorced before we met each other. So, and I think in some ways it made us a little bit more dedicated this time around. We were older when we got married because we had that previous life experience and we've both been very careful to not want to like hurt the other person, I guess is the right word. So we know how we both had significant others that we just weren't good fits. We just weren't good fits. There was no abuse or anything like that, but it just wasn't a good fit. And so this time around, I think we've both been, at least I know I have, and I feel like he has too. We've both been very cognizant to allow the other person's space to have their own life, but also dedicated to being together and understanding that sometimes loving your husband means you're going to be angry with him, but you're committed to working through it the best you can. So there are days where I don't love him so much, but most of the time I do. And I'm really excited. Like, I'm a little sad because he's not here tonight. He's off with friends though. He spent the years that we lived in Arlington, he never really hung out with friends that much because all of his friends live so far away. And then we move out to the suburbs and like, I got to pencil time in with him because he's out doing things with all of his friends all of the time. But he does so much for us that I can't shortchange him for that. Besides, I'm sitting here streaming. What is he going to do? Sit on the couch and wait for me to end the live stream? That's not fair either. So that's it. I'm really happy. Oh, yeah. Lori Fair got to meet him when I went to So Yeah. Lori Fair bought some stuff and Jason just, I don't even ask him to do this stuff. He just does it. He came in and he was like, do you need some help with carrying that out to the car? And he offered to carry all of her purchases out to the car for Lori. And Lori was like, yeah, he just does that stuff. We had a few of us after we met at So Yeah, a few of us went out for Mexican And the bill comes and he just takes the check and paid for everybody there to have the meal. I was just like, okay, he's a good guy. What time is a tutorial for the bag? It starts right at the beginning of the video. So if you go back and watch it, I don't remember what the timestamp is, but yeah. Jason is a sweetheart. Becca is a lucky woman. I am. I love him. I love him. Jonah says, I am so happy that you have a great man. I wasn't so lucky in the husband department, but I am a one and done on marriage. There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever makes your life happy. Sometimes it's living alone. Sometimes you don't want to do that and you don't have to. But I'm rambling now. And it's just shy of 10 o'clock. So I think I'm going to end the live stream here. I've made a few popcorn bags. I definitely have a couple more that I want to make. But yeah, I think I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to retire to the front room. And I'm going to indulge in my new obsession, which is Bridgerton. I've started watching Bridgerton. And this is me all the way through. I love it. It's great. I'm still in season 1. I'm on like episode 5, I think. So nobody put in the chat what's going to happen. But I'm really excited and I want to go catch up. In fact, I was halfway through an episode before the live stream started. So I'm really excited to go back and finish that episode. Oh no! Jennifer said, I just made it on. Just arrived in where? Virginia? Jennifer, are you in Virginia? Oh, Withville. Jennifer, are you in Withville? No joke. Why are you in Withville? Like, I have all the questions. Like, I have all the questions. And when you're in Withville, you gotta go to boutiques, etc. Go tomorrow morning. Like, just go. Jump on from Withville. You're in my state, girl. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the couch with the little bit of popcorn that I have left, watch some Bridgerton, get some sleep, and I will be posting a video tomorrow morning checking in on my first weigh-in, my first full week on Weight Watchers, so I can't wait to share that with you. Don't forget to check out that video. I think there will actually be a live stream tomorrow afternoon too, so around like 12:30, 12:45, so keep your eyes posted for that. And other than that, I'll just see you next week on Friday night. I have no idea what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. So see y'all then. Bye.